Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So normally during the springtime, I'm at car shows, drag races, all sorts of places all over the country. And with the coronavirus pandemic, all of that came to a screeching halt, as you know. I mean, we've been on complete lockdown. There's been no car events to go to at all in 2020. So I've had a little more time on my hands to fool around in the shop. I've been picking away at the old Camaro here, trying to get it ready to sell, and I've been just doing general maintenance around the house, cleaning cars, taking care of business. So on my weekends where I'd normally be at the drag strip, I'm at home. I'm getting to spend time with family. It's really been a pretty big blessing to me. I could look at it as, this virus and this panic and this hysteria is taking away joy because I'm not able to go do my thing, but I've been able to see the good in it, and that's been spending time with my family, eating 3 meals a day with my family, doing things that we wouldn't normally have a chance to do. So one of those things that's been on my to-do list for a long time is cleaning up the paint on the old Chevelle. And I told you about Carly's Chevelle. I told you the story of it. If you didn't see that, if you haven't seen it yet, I'll put a link in the description. I'll put a card. I'll put some ways that you can check that out. But anyways, this is my little girl's car, and this thing has served us very well. We've driven it all over the place. It's been awesome. But through the years of driving it, I've kind of neglected the paint, and it really is starting to show its age a little bit. The paint that's on this car is just cheap acrylic enamel single stage paint. Now this stuff, was common to use in the 70s and 80s. It was kind of the next step from lacquer paint. Enamel was next, then we transitioned into urethane, which is still common now. So the acrylic enamel paint is a single stage. That means it's not, a base coat and a clear coat on top of it. It's all in one. It's the color and it's the shine. Not many people use this anymore, but my dad loves this stuff. He's painted thousands of cars with it, and he's really comfortable with it. So my plan was to include Carly, since this is her car after all, and we were going to do a quick revamp of this car's finish. So we started by washing it. We do that all the time anyways. I just use regular old dishwashing liquid and a wash mitt and a water hose. There's not a real complicated theory behind that. It's just get the dirt off, spray it off, and then dry it off with an absorber towel, and pretty straightforward there. So we did that. We took off down the road just to blow any of the extra water off of the car, so we had a good dry, cool surface. We also got to enjoy a little bit of the countryside while we did that. And then when we got back, we put it in the garage. We let everything cool off. We then buffed the hood, the top, and the deck lid, and then down the sides, just above the trim that goes down the side of the car. I actually didn't do any buffing on the bottom side because it still looks good. So I buffed that with a really light compound. It's really just kind of a machine glaze. I did that with an electric buffer. Nothing real strenuous. A foam pad. I didn't want to mark up the finish because there's not a whole lot of material there. I didn't want to have to really do a lot of rubbing. So foam pad, machine glaze, electric buffer, just went over this thing one good time to knock sort of the first layer of oxidation off of it. After that, I went ahead and washed it again, got all the sludge and just leftover compound streaks and stuff off, dried it off again, and then we waxed it. And what I used was McGuire's number 26, and I wish you could smell this because this is the smell of my childhood. Like my dad used McGuire's. It was actually number 7. It was called show car glaze, and he would use it like if we were going to a car show, he would wax the car with it, and the smell of that stuff, I'll always remember it. And the number 26 smells the same. It's actually just more of a long-term yellow wax instead of just a show car glaze, so it'll last a little bit longer, but I still get the good smell. So anyways, I did a good waxing on this thing, Carly legitimately helped me. This is not staged for video or anything like that. I mean, I waxed the car. She took the microfiber towel and took the wax off, polished it. I mean, she got all the smudges out of this thing on everything that she could reach. I had to do the hood and the roof and deck lid, but the rest of the car, like down the side, she did an excellent job with it. Of course, I pointed out some things, gave her some tips, and we were able to make it, really look good. And about a week later, I noticed a couple of little swirl marks on it, so we went back and we put a second coat of wax on it, and that really did the trick. That made the thing really have a good reflection. It got rid of any of those little marks that were left behind by the buffer. It made a big difference in the car. And we got to spend some time together. I mean, we were just talking and having fun. Our neighborhood dogs came up, and, it was really enjoyable to spend this time together. And again, it's hard to be thankful during this time. Our country is in a major crisis. Our world is in a crisis. But times like this allow me to enjoy it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had a few hours to spend on this car. I would have just, gave it a quick wash job, and we would have just took off down the road, and it would have continued to weather, and the paint would have continued to deteriorate. But instead, we were able to spend time together. We were able to make this car look better, and it was fun for both of us.
We'll meet you on the other side.
Carly and I ended the night with a photo shoot on the car. It was right at sunset. The car was finished. We'd shined the tires up. It was ready to go. So we just went right over here to the airport, just a couple minutes away, pulled it up next to one of the hangars, snapped some pictures of this thing as the sun was going down. It was awesome. We could really see that the work we put into this thing paid off. We could see that horizon line in the side of the car. We could see the reflection of the sunset. It was really cool. And it was cool to really see Carly notice the work that she did on this car make a difference. That was awesome. And I hope to continue doing things like this around the shop during this downtime. And I hope to include Carly more because she got a kick out of it. I obviously love it anytime I can include her. So look for more of this type of stuff coming up. As long as we're on lockdown, I'm going to be picking away in the garage.